Welcome to the channel. This is my honest review of CR England in 2024. Disclaimer, this has been my experience only. If you come to this company and drive for them, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the same experience. So take everything I say with a grain of salt. You could come here and have a completely different experience. Not that my experience has been bad. There's going to be pros and cons, just like with everything else. But my goal in this video is just to lay everything out, be completely transparent, and let you make an educated choice of whether to come here or not. If you do decide that you want to apply and come drive here, use this driver code. When you submit an application, there is a referral bonus available, so put in that code and you'll qualify to get that referral bonus. That is my personal driver code, and I will also get that referral bonus. Let's get right in the video. I'm going to start with a simple pros and cons list. I will start with all the pros and then we'll do the cons. All right, so here we go. Pros of CR England so far. I work on a dedicated account. If you come work here, it doesn't mean that you'll have a dedicated account as well. You might be OTR, you might be, I don't know. They have different accounts is my point. So for me personally, I'm on a dedicated account for Dollar Tree. So that is definitely a pro. I've done OTR and that's not for me. When I started over a year ago with Werner, I was with them for 3 or 4 months and I was over the road. I did a little bit solo and then the rest of it I did teams. And yeah, not for me at all. So I'm actually happy to be on this dedicated account. I don't leave my home state of Florida, so that's obviously a good thing for me because I hated being over the road. Pro number 2, the gross pay is a guaranteed minimum of $1,400. Now, I will be coming out with a pay review video so you can see my checks so far. I have been with the company over 2 months. I've been waiting to get to that 3-month mark of getting checks every week to then do that video so you can have a better idea of what everything looks like. But for me, in my account, I know for a fact, gross, I'm gonna get $1,400 a week, no matter what. That is a guaranteed minimum that they have. I don't know if they still offer that or if they offer something like that on any of the other accounts, but when I got hired on for this account, that's what they were offering. Moving on to pro number 3, you do get a brand new truck, at least for me and my account. Everybody that got hired on when they acquired the Dollar Tree account got brand new trucks that I know of anyways. I got a brand new truck, that's all I'm saying. You may or may not get a brand new truck if you decide to come work here, but that is a pro. For me personally, on my account, when I got hired, I got a brand new truck. So if you're interested in seeing the truck tour, here's the thumbnail for that video, and it's going to be the first link in the description. Go ahead and watch that video after this video so you can see exactly the truck that they put me in. The next pro is that you do get a tablet. Everything is electronic, so the logs and everything else, it's all on a tablet. It works really great. I like that a lot because it is a time saver and you don't have to think about anything as far as getting your logs done and the times that you started working, when you went to bed, all this stuff. Like, you don't have to worry about it. It's all done electronically in the tablet. Every truck comes with a tablet. Also, along with that system, there is a CR England app, which comes in handy. On there, you can see everything from your pay to what load you're on to what load is coming up. Like, everything is on that app. It's very convenient. I like it a lot and it's very useful. The next pro is that you can take the truck home. Now, that's for my account. I don't know if that's across the board for the whole company and all the accounts, but for my account on Dollar Tree, I can take the truck home. So as long as you have somewhere safe to park it where you're not going to get towed or get a ticket or anything like that, they'll let you take the truck home. So I really like that. I have somewhere I can park the truck and trailer, and I really like that I don't have to drive my personal car to Ocala, which is an hour and a half away from me, to then get in the truck and start working. Like, no, my car is literally getting very little miles now because I don't have to use it for work. Basically, I only drive my car when I'm off of work, which is typically only 1 full day. Maybe a day and a half if I'm lucky, maybe 2 days out of the week, but usually it's only like 1 day out of the week that I'm off, and that's when I'll drive my car very minimally. So I really like you can take the truck home. The next pro, it is possible to have some sort of routine with this type of account. Now, obviously, if you're over the road, you're gonna have to figure it out. But for me personally, in my situation, when I was over the road, it was really hard for me to have the same type of routine that I was used to having before I started trucking. So for example, like, I like to go to the gym, I like to get my workouts in, I like to do certain things. And when I was over the road, I couldn't do that. Now, being on this account, being dedicated, I can have some type of routine and be consistent. So I really like that because that was a major deal breaker for me when I was over the road. Aside from other things like the pay being low and stuff like that and the hours, I just didn't have a routine. All I did was work. All I did was sit in that truck and drive. And when I was teaming, all I did was go in the back and sleep after I was done driving and then, you know, repeat the next day. Like, so I really enjoy and I really like having the opportunity to have my routine the way I want to have it. Basically, when I decide to shut down for the day after I finish getting a load or after I finish unloading, I look for a gym, somewhere that I can park the truck. And I know for a fact I'm going to at least get a shower and or get my workout in, or if I worked out or if it's my rest day, I can get my shower. I can do all the stuff that I need to do, all my personal things. All right, so that's going to be it for the pros. Now, for the cons.
Now give me 30 seconds to tell you about this video sponsor, Mass Group Travel. Well, they're not really a sponsor because I'm not being paid for this. I just love them so much. I've used them They are a travel company. They do group trips. You work hard as a trucker. You try to take care of your health. You're watching this video. Well, you also need to take vacations. So if you want a great company that does great trips with great people, check them out. All their links are going to be below.
First con, you don't get inverters, and it costs over $600 to have one installed, and you have to do it through CR England. They don't want you to do it yourself. They say it has to be done through them because it has to be professionally installed, blah, 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 blah. That's something major. Thankfully, I thought it was going to be an issue for me, but I have been able to figure things out that I don't really need an inverter in my truck. I have a fridge. I don't have a microwave, but I have other ways of like heating my food and stuff. So thankfully, I don't really need an inverter. And I did get an inverter off of Amazon that has the car plug. So you plug it into the cigarette lighter and it's like a little tiny inverter. And I basically only use that for my laptop. Like if I'm using my laptop in the truck, whether I'm editing a video or watching Netflix or whatever I'm doing, that's basically the only time that I need that inverter. For everything else in the truck, I just use the cigarette lighters that are all over the truck, literally in the front, in the back, next to the bed. There's plenty of cigarette lighter connections in that truck. As long as you get equipment, appliances, accessories, etc., that has a cigarette plug, you'll be good. You don't really need an inverter. The next con, and this is more of a industry thing, not just a CR England thing, but it's just across the board. Everything is always the driver's fault. No matter what the situation, no matter what's happening, no matter what went wrong, 9 times out of 10, it's going to get spun so that it ends up being your fault as the driver. And again, that's not just a CR England thing or any particular company thing. That's an industry-wide thing. And it also has to do with how some of these laws are set up. Like nothing is set up to benefit the driver, really. Everything is always your fault as the driver. No matter what goes wrong, whether it's in your control or not, it gets spun to be your fault. So my recommendation to mitigate that is to always do everything by the book. Literally follow everything the way the FMCSA says, because if you don't, it's gonna get blamed on you. That's how you can cover your ass as far as getting blamed for things. Do everything by the book. Here's an example. Here's what happened to me recently. My truck broke down. It was in the shop, right? It was only down for like 2 or 3 days. In the interim, while I was waiting for it to get fixed, on the second day, I was told, oh, you're gonna go help this guy out. So it was basically 2 of us unloading a trailer, a load for the day. It's usually just one person, the driver. But anyways, I went and helped that guy out. I started at 4 a.m., right? Here's why I messed up. I did not sign in on the tablet so that my logs could be done, properly. So it shows that I'm on duty, etc. That's my fault, right? So fast forward to the end of the day, 15, 16, no, it didn't take 16 hours that day. But fast forward 12 plus hours later when we were done, oh, your truck is ready. He drops me off to get my truck. And guess what? They had a load for me that next day. So I'm like, well, I just worked all day today. Technically, I don't really have any hours, but I didn't sign in. So as far as they're concerned, I have hours because it's not showing on my logs that I was on duty, etc. So they hit me up, your truck is ready. And then I have this load the next day. So I hit up the manager like, well, obviously they know what's going on. And that's another thing too. They try to play it off like they don't know what's going on, and sometimes they don't, because I have noticed with this company the communication is horrible, and I've mentioned it in previous videos about this company. Like, it's a big company, but there's no communication between departments. At least for me, what I've seen in my experience, there's no communication between the departments to your fleet manager to the dispatch, like none of that. So with everything, every little thing is, oh, you have to let us know, telling me, whether it's the manager, the dispatcher, whatever. Oh, you didn't tell me that, you have to let us know. It's like, what you mean? If I spoke to, XYZ department, obviously I'm assuming there's like a system and you can see what's going on, but apparently that's not how that works. So that's one major thing, communication. It's horrible across the board with this company. Anyways, so back to my situation. So I didn't have hours, or not that I didn't have hours, I didn't sign in on the logs. So basically, to make a long story short, I got stuck doing that load the next day when realistically I was supposed to take a 10-hour break. But because I messed up and didn't sign in on the tablet, my log showed like I didn't work. But obviously they knew that I worked. So it's my fault primarily, but also it's their fault in the sense of like, well, when it benefits you, when it benefits the company, oh, you're not gonna follow the rules, right? The logs don't matter, the hours don't matter. But if it's me, if I'm trying to go home and I'm out of hours, then that's a problem. But when it benefits the company, like, oh, so I still ended up doing that load and everything, right? Whatever. It is what it is. Lesson learned. It's not going to happen again. I promise you that. Anything like that, any situation like that ever happens again, to me, I'm going to make sure that I'm logged in so that it shows that I'm on duty. And they can't try to do me like that again, because it is messed up. I was tired. And I ended up doing that load the next day tired, which is obviously dangerous. So I say all of that to say, do everything by the book, because otherwise you will be blamed. I promise. The next con, and this kind of falls back with the previous con, but the company and the industry as a whole, they don't care about you, the driver. They don't care about your personal needs. Another story, something that happened to me recently. I got finished with a load, and this was like in my local area. It was my load to go home. I think it was like my last load of the week and then going home. So I was in my area, and I basically had a little under an hour left when I finished, and I wasn't gonna have quite enough time to drive home and have my home time, right? So I was like, no problem. I'm gonna finish this load and wrap up real quick, and then I'm gonna get on personal conveyance and I'm gonna drive 30 minutes home. It was like 40 minutes at the most. So boom, that's what I did. I come in after my home time a day later or 2 days later, and that was a problem. The fact that I took personal conveyance. If y'all don't want us to use something, if you don't want us to use personal conveyance, how about you just take that shit off? Like, that's not even an option. Another similar situation was I just wanted to get a shower before I shut down, and I ran out of hours. That was a problem too, you know. So they expect me, I just worked the whole day. I'm dirty, I'm sweaty, I'm disgusting. All I want to do is clean up, take a shower, and then shut down, go to sleep. No big deal, right? Wrong. Apparently it is a big deal. So I got in trouble for that because I wanted to take a shower. You want us to be safe. You want us to get our 10 hours of sleep. You want us to sleep, but how am I supposed to fall asleep if I'm dirty? I'm disgusting. Like, I want to be clean so I can fall asleep and rest and be safe and, you know, all of that shit. So it's like, bro, some of these laws, like, I know for the most part, I know is these laws, there's got to be some wiggle room in some of these laws and regulations, because obviously trucking is a very regulated industry, but there's got to be some changes and wiggle room to give drivers some discretion, and for drivers to be able to do some of the personal things that they need to do in order to successfully do their jobs and to safely do their jobs. That's just my opinion. Moving on to the next con. So this is a con that's company specific, but I only have one full day off, or at least guaranteed I only have one full day off. Typically it's either going to be a Saturday or a Sunday. So I don't like that, but it is what it is. I guess there's going to be some trade-offs, but yeah, that's a con for me. I would like to have at least 48 hours off, especially considering the type of work that I'm doing. It's not an easy work. If I was dropping hook and just driving, then that'd be another story. You know, give me one day off, whatever. I'm not doing much. But that's not the case. I'm out here working. Like, I'm out here busting my ass. This is a very physically demanding blue-collar job, and I need my rest. I would like more than one day off, but you know, it is what it is. And if you want to see exactly what I'm talking about, on this channel there's multiple vlogs, so you can go ahead and see exactly what this job is like. If you're thinking about coming here and doing this type of work, definitely go watch those videos so you can actually see what it's like, and then you can decide, do I really want to do that or not? Is it worth what they're offering for pay or not? Obviously that's something personal, and for every person it's going to be different if it's worth it for them or not. But yeah, watch those videos. You can click this playlist. Here's the thumbnail. It'll be the second link in the description, and you can watch all those videos there, or at least the vlogs, so you can see what you're possibly getting into. The next con of this company is that you have to use Werner trailers. If you've been watching this channel, you know I hate Werner. That's where I started. I will never go back there again. Horrible company. I exposed them in this video. There's the thumbnail. That'll be the next link in the description. So go and watch that after this video. I hate Werner. In my DC, Family Dollar and Dollar Tree hired CR England and Werner to be their companies to take their merchandise to their stores. So because of that, us at CR England, we sometimes have to use Werner's equipment and vice versa. So here's the thing about that. They pitched us on, oh, you're getting new trucks, you're getting brand new trailers, you know, all this stuff, great. You know, you want good equipment to do your job, right? But they don't tell you that, oh, you're gonna be sharing this stuff with another company. And Werner, to make things worse, Werner, all of Werner's equipment is trash. I've never used any equipment from Werner that was good, or that I didn't have a hard time dealing with some aspect of that equipment. So I really hate using their trailers, because all their trailers are old. All their trailers, something is wrong with them, whether it's the door, whether it's the handle for the landing gear. Like, there's always something with those trailers. So I hate using them. I have barely used our brand new trailers that we got for the account. I've definitely used Werner trailers way more, but it is what it is. Hopefully once we switch over to liftgate and rotainers, we'll be using our trailers more often than not, but I don't know, we'll see. All right, the next con is that you do get random calls from random departments within this company. Now, when I first started, I used to answer every phone call. After about a week of that, now I'm not getting calls every day, but it does happen often, once or twice a week at minimum. But yeah, after about a week of that, I was like, nah, bro, because it's usually like either like the safety department or some other random department, and it's not even that you did something wrong. Yes, it's happened that maybe I took a turn a certain type of way and they didn't like that, so they called me. Okay, when something happens, okay, call me. I can understand you calling me. But when you're calling me just to like, oh, we're going over how you can be safe and blah, 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 like, bro, I don't have time for that. First of all, y'all are calling me either I'm driving or I'm unloading. So y'all are calling me during my work day. Y'all are distracting me from my work, literally making me unsafe because now I'm distracted trying to unload this trailer that they stack to the roof, by the way. So stuff falls on you all the time. If you're not paying attention, I've been hit in the face with stuff. It's kind of dangerous if I'm being honest. And sometimes, a lot of times, they'll put heavy stuff on top for whatever reason. The warehouse sucks. Let's not get into that. They'll put heavy stuff on top, or like stuff that breaks, like glass, on top, and it'll fall on you. So you're calling me, distracting me while I'm trying to work, and making me further unsafe. The irony in that. But anyways, yeah, that's a con for me. After a while, I stopped answering phone calls. Like I saved some of these numbers, like don't answer, because most of the time they're just wasting my time and calling me on some nonsense, or calling me on how to drive the truck. Like, I've never had an accident. I've never hit anyone or anything like that, or hit another car, knock on wood. So don't call me talking about how to drive the truck, or that I took a turn too fast, or whatever the case. So yeah, I stopped answering those calls now. If you want to get a hold of me, leave a message or text me or send me an email, which I've seen that they send me emails now, so that's fine, whatever. Basically, if it's important, they're going to leave a voicemail, which that's happened, where I didn't answer the phone, they left me a voicemail, and I got back to them because it ended up being important. So that's kind of my policy now. I don't answer any phone calls. If they really want to reach me, they're going to send me an email or leave a voicemail, and I'm going to call them back. Next con. So I kind of mentioned this a little earlier, but the communication. The departments don't communicate with each other. There is no communication between the people that you deal with every day, like your fleet manager and dispatcher, with the rest of the company. So like all these other departments, safety department, logs department, all these other departments that major trucking companies have, at least with this company, they don't communicate directly with your fleet manager or dispatcher. So that's something that's always been bad with this company, and always been kind of disorganized, is lack of communication. And then they expect you, the driver, to kind of know that they don't know what's going on. I kind of assumed the opposite initially, that, okay, it's a big company, they're talking to each other. No, I learned the hard way real quick. If I talk to a department about something and my fleet manager needs to know that, I have to call my fleet manager and let him know, because they're not going to be talking. So yeah, that's really bad. I hate that, but it is what it is. The next con is situational. So typically your day is going to start at 5 a.m. and at least here in Florida at 5 a.m. it's still dark. It's a con because it makes it hard to park. The fact that it's dark out obviously makes it a little bit harder. So that's why that's a con on this list. But I mean, the only way to get around that is to obviously just take your time and not be in a rush, and, you know, use flashlights. I have a really good flashlight. Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that, obviously. Next con, the staff in the stores work really slow. This is one of those situations where, at least for me, the driver gets blamed. If I'm late to my next stop, or if I don't get to my last stop before my 14 hours are up because they're slow, that's not on me as the driver. Here's a perfect example. Just recently, my second stop of the day out of 4, it was either my second or my third stop, I can't remember, but it was 4 stops total. And on that stop, I kid you not, there was 2 older ladies. And when I say older, like, I'm talking about old, like gray hair. One of them had full head of gray hair. Like she had no business working. Like, she needs to retire type old. But anyways, 2 old ladies at this store to unload over 1,000 pieces for that stop by themselves. When I tell you it took really long, when I tell you they were slow, that's an understatement. And even she was saying, oh, I'm sorry we're so slow. And I felt bad because, like, they should have had more help. And towards the end, dude came, it was his off day and they called him in. And towards the end he came, but it didn't really make a difference because by that time we were already almost done. Those 2 poor old ladies had to unload over 1,000 pieces. I could not finish my last stop that was scheduled for that day. It had to be pushed to the next day. Tell me how I get blamed because they were slow. Here's what I said earlier took place about things coming back around, or things being twisted so that it's your fault. So here's what happened, right? I ran out of my 14 hours because they were slow, but everything got twisted that it's my fault because I was home and I wasn't at the store. I didn't go the day before and spent the night at the first stop to save 30 minutes to an hour. Because obviously if I'm home, I have to do a pre-trip and all that, and that's like 15 minutes. It takes time to drive there. I wasn't late to my first stop, mind you. I was there on time. I didn't do anything wrong in that regard. The whole situation got twisted around and made it look like it's my fault that I ran out of time because I didn't spend the night before at that first stop to save 30 minutes to an hour at the most. When realistically, let's say I did spend the night, that first stop, I still wasn't gonna finish the last stop in time because I had 1 hour left on my 14 hours. So let's say I spent the night and was at the first stop. At the most, I would have had 2 hours left instead of 1. And that's 2 hours, and I still gotta go drive, and then I still gotta unload. So I still, regardless, I wouldn't have finished within those 2 hours. So it is what it is, but I still got blamed for it for whatever reason. That's gonna be it for the cons. I hope this has been very informative if you are thinking about coming to this company. It's not a bad company. I guess you just gotta figure out what you're gonna put up with and what you're not. And after the stuff that I've been through with the other companies when I started, I've kind of figured out what I'm gonna put up with and what I'm not. And regardless of where you go in this industry, that's basically what it's gonna come down to. It's a matter of what you will put up with and what you won't, but they're all the companies are gonna have things that you don't like or that you don't wanna deal with, or that you might decide, okay, I'll deal with it because the pay is what I want it to be, or whatever other reason. So far, I would recommend this company to other people, whether you're a new person that just got your CDL or you're a veteran driver that's been in the game. I would recommend this company. It's not a bad company, but just be prepared to be blamed for stuff, whether it's in your control or not. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be like that across the board in the industry. So there's nothing you can do about that. So that's why, going back to my earlier point, do everything by the book. Make sure your logs are 100% accurate, because at the end of the day, that's how you can protect yourself, doing stuff like that, following the rules, doing everything by the book. All of that is going to protect you as the driver, and it makes it less likely that the company or whoever else is going to be able to put the blame on you for anything, especially if really it's not your fault. I hope this video has been helpful. If you are interested in applying, again, here's my personal driver code. Make sure you use that driver code if you do speak to a recruiter or you do an application. Put that in the application, or let the recruiter know that you are being referred so that you get that referral bonus, and I get the bonus as well. If you don't want to do it that way, you can reach out to me on any social media. All the links are in the description, and we can go ahead and get the process started as far as getting you referred to the company. If this video was helpful to you, if you like the information, please leave a like on the video. And if you're interested in more trucking content, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I will see you all in the next video.